I currently have 3 months worth of inventory sitting at my factory that I cannot bring to the US. I have maybe 2 months worth left in my warehouse in Minnesota, and when that's gone, I have no more revenue. I cannot pay my employees. I cannot pay my bills. I cannot pay the loans, which I have leveraged my house against, so we could lose our house. I do not have the $230,000 that were just immediately dropped in front of me to get my products into the US. So I am asking, begging for support from both sides of both parties to support our small businesses and get rid of these tariffs on US-owned small businesses. It doesn't just affect me. When I go out of business, it affects all of those contractors that I pay to help me with my business, all those American-owned businesses, my trucking company that brings me my container, the bookkeepers and accountants and marketing teams that work with me. They now don't get to have the revenue they're getting from me, and I'm just one business that's at risk of going out of business. There are thousands of us. So this is hurting more than just people importing from China.
I think that one of the things that drives me the most crazy about this is that we have big companies like Apple who have a connection in the White House. They know who to call. They have the wherewithal to give $1 million to President Trump's inauguration ceremony. They get seated right up there on the dais on Inauguration Day when the people standing with us today have no capacity to accomplish that. And what happens? Apple gets a carve out and these guys are left holding the bag. And that is wrong, and we cannot put up with it.
So on the election night, I thought that there were a number of states that would see what happened in the past and make a wise decision. One of those states that I thought would be wise would be Iowa. But on election night, I was soon brought to reality. Only 5 counties of the entire state voted for Kamala Harris. Donald Trump won overwhelmingly in the state of Iowa. But now, you're starting to see an increasing number of bankruptcies in that state. As a matter of fact, the numbers are trending up, and more importantly, they are almost as high as they were during the COVID period.
More of America's family farms are going bankrupt. Researchers at the University of Arkansas finding that more than 250 farms filed for Chapter 12 bankruptcy between April 2024 and this March, marking a drastic increase in financial distress. According to the data, nearly 90 farms filed for bankruptcy in the first quarter of this year, almost double the number from the same quarter in 2024. Analysts are contributing the rise to a handful of factors, including inflation, higher interest rates, and labor shortages, which are being exacerbated by President Trump's mass deportation campaign.
And now I was leading the nation, the entire nation, in the number of bankruptcies. Now, I want you to be aware of this. The numbers were trending down during Biden, but now they are on the rise. Your family farms are collapsing. Your local investors are bankrupt. Your GDP has shrunk more than 6% this year alone. And yet you're still waving the flag for the man who lit the fire to inflame, burn down your house. My mother would always say, you could take a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink. Now, I have a couple of questions. What has Trump ever done for you? What return did you get on your investment? I'll tell you what, you got racism, and you sure do love paying for it.
There's a really wild story I want to talk about today. There's a small town in Missouri, a rural area that overwhelmingly voted for Trump, and they only have one hospital in this area. It's been serving the community for over 7 decades, has stayed open as the community has shrunk. They used to have a Walmart, the only Walmart in the area, closed, and through a lot of economic downturn, they have been able to stay open. But unfortunately, because of Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill, there are fears that it may close in a town that overwhelmingly voted for Trump. And frankly, I don't think they realized they were voting for this. And I want to talk about it today. This is a theme we're seeing with MAGA and Trump supporters. And I don't really know how I feel so much of saying, fuck around, find out, like these people deserve what they're getting. I really think most of the blame should go to Donald Trump for conning the American public. But at some level, I see you guys in the comments, I hear you, it's kind of mind-boggling. This went really viral the other day. This is on LinkedIn, oddly enough. A woman who owns a business. I've been getting a lot of hateful messages since my last post about my business struggles. Yes, my husband did vote for Trump. Yes, Trump's tariffs have seriously disrupted my supply chain and hurt my business. That said, I still support my husband. He voted for what he truly believed was right. It's complicated, but so is life. But like on an issue like this, is it complicated though? Like, really? This is where I get to the point where I'm like, okay, fuck around, find out. He told you a million times he's going to implement tariffs. And it really was pretty simple. He was lying to your face when he said tariffs are paid for by other countries. People like you and I screamed, hey, they're not. They're going to be paid for by American businesses, and this could really hurt.
Nebraska. How you doing, baby? Not too well. Yeah. Especially the farmers. You farmers had it going on. $2 billion in exports with your, soybeans to China. That's gone. And now your immigrants who worked in the summer, they're gone. And $350 million in taxes are not going to be paid, correct? You are losing millions in tariffs, according to your governor. And it is really affecting the small businesses. But you went overwhelmingly for the criminal in chief. So either you really wanted to go broke or backfired on your ass. And I don't understand, because he only knows a few words, and he must have said the word tariffs about 1,000 times. So either you didn't care, you didn't think it was going to affect you, or you just saw black and you saw white. And now your state and you are in the red. And I hate to see anybody lose everything. I mean, but I don't care. I don't care. Because you didn't care.
I don't care anymore.
Tariffs are having a real impact right here in the Treasure State, with farmers and ranchers feeling it firsthand. Food systems moving out of the country, prices on food and tools going up, and broken trade relations are just a handful of the issues.
Nobody wants to do business with us, whether it's Japan, Australia, Europe, Paraguay, anybody. They don't want to do business with us because they have no idea what's going to happen. It doesn't make any good business sense.
A talking point was the impact tariffs have on the mental health of farmers. An expert said it's causing more stress. According to some estimates, farmers have a suicide rate as high as 3 times the national average.
Farmers and ranchers have the highest incident of suicide of any occupation in the nation. That's pretty serious.
It's not just Montana farmers feeling the pressure. Data from Bloomberg shows 173 small farms across the country have filed for bankruptcy since President Trump took office.
The price is going to go up from moving outside the country, and the price is going to go up for increased labor costs, and the price is going to go up because of tariffs. So good high-quality food is going to become food of the rich.
Y'all, I have some mixed feelings about these farmers that are getting screwed over by these tariffs. There's part of me that wants to laugh in their faces and say, congratulations, you got exactly what you voted for, bro. And then there's another side of me that understands that these people are just too simple and don't really understand what they did.
You don't want to hear the price I'm about to give you. I said, well, give it to me anyways. He said, each of those steaks now is going to be $1.74 a piece. I said, well,
double the price.
We can't do that, and that's going to be impossible. So that's just to let you know a little bit of what we're going through out here on our farm and what farmers in general are going through. These tariffs, not the best thing for our country. I voted for Trump.
Now, if you didn't catch that at the end, he said, these tariffs aren't the best thing for our country, and I voted for Trump. These people don't really pay attention to the news. These are people that just listen to what Earl says down at the diner, and he's voted Republican his whole life because they're the party of God. And speaking of God, there are a lot of these farmers that say, you know what? I'm not that worried because God's got this.
A lot of faith, and our faith is in God and not in administration.
In agriculture, there's about 85% of what happens on my farm that is completely out of my control. Yeah. So I have to do the very best I can at managing that 15% of inputs and costs and labor and marketing and signing the best contract and doing the best job that I can, and leave the other 85% up to the good Lord. And that's all we can do, whether it's weather or disease or a hailstorm or a pandemic or administration.
They're trying to compare these tariffs to a natural disaster, but this isn't a natural disaster. This was a decision made by one man who is screwing them over. And they're just like, well, it's in the Lord's hands. What can we do? And this, again, is why religion is so dangerous. They're willing to accept financial ruin because the Lord's got this, so I'm not going to be worried about what Trump decides to do. And my friends over at the Cowboy Church told me that God put him in office for a reason. And that's just it. When you think that there's a supernatural force just watching over you at all times, nothing matters. Your family might starve. Well, if that's what God wants, who am I to argue with him? If you don't get your kid vaccinated, they could easily die of a disease that's easily preventable. Well, if that's what the Lord wants, I'm not going to be able to stop him. And that is why religion is one of the most dangerous things on this planet. Because these people have been convinced that they are completely out of control of things that they could completely control if they wanted to. And the sad thing is that we need our farmers, but Darwinism is going to take them all away from us if they don't get away from this Christian nationalist way of thinking. Unfortunately, I just don't see that happening. Do you?
Regarding all these farmers that are now crying about possibly losing their farms because they voted for Trump, this is why you absolutely should not feel bad for any of these farmers that voted for Trump. Now, the ones that didn't vote, yes, feel sorry for them, go support them, do whatever you need to do. But the ones that voted for Trump, do not feel sorry for them, and let me tell you why. I am a builder, and I've been building shit in Oklahoma City going on like 20 years now, and farmers are not stupid. If you have the ability to manage a farm and understand the weather, the climate, your machinery, the chemistry that goes into your crops, you are not a stupid person. You're just not. And especially when you come from generational farming, you have the ability to look ahead and predict what you need to survive. And so when you have two candidates, where you have Kamala Harris on one side giving you a whole fucking list of shit that she's going to do for you and make your life better, and then you have Trump on the other side who can't even come out with a normal sounding sentence, and you still vote for that guy, and you are a farmer, you are either racist or sexist or both. And they're only crying now because now they are being treated exactly how they voted for other people to be treated. Got that? They are being treated how they voted for other minorities, people of color, everybody else, poor people, sick people. That's how they voted for other people to be treated. And now they're the ones being treated that way by losing their livelihood, their homes, their income, their farms. So do not feel sorry for them. This is exactly what they had coming. Quick follow-up as to why exactly would Trump be doing this to farmers anyways, and I'm guessing 99% chance it's because he wants to bankrupt farms so his corporate buddies can come in and do a land grab. Basically what you have been seeing the last few years, major companies buying up a bunch of rental houses and jacking up the price of rents, and it's all going to corporations. It's probably something similar to let these farms go to foreclosure and his corporate buddies be able to come in, swoop them up, and now you've got bigger companies involved in more of our day-to-day food.
I'm so excited for everyone to call me a bad person again in my comments, but guess what? I do not care about Nebraska going bankrupt in 6 months. I do not care. I do not care. Maybe a few other of those red states should go bankrupt in 6 months so the blue states can swoop in to save them, so they can understand that we are not the bad ones. We are not the poor ones. We are not the ones who cannot survive under the orange turds' crazy policies. But you know why I don't feel bad for Nebraska? You know why? Because I believe I heard 65% of their workforce is undocumented people, which means they're not coming to work anymore.
Oh, Iowa is finding out. We all remember Iowa from election night, where only 5 counties voted blue. And the good people have gotten exactly what they voted for, and now leading America in farmer bankruptcies. Farmer bankruptcies that hadn't been this high since the first Trump administration were trending down during the Biden administration. And these people are still so delusional that Kim Reynolds, the governor of Iowa, still came out and said, we're a Trump country, that we stand with the president despite the tariffs. I'll tell you what, you guys sure do like paying for your racism, don't you? To go along with the family farms going out of business, you have multiple investors that have now gone bankrupt in the companies they own in Iowa. But I tell you what, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it, can you? How can you people have lost everything? Your GDP has shrunk by over 6% this calendar year, and yet here you are stating that you're still a Trump state, that we stand with you even though you've destroyed our lives. What has this man done for you ever that you should give this loyalty? Oh, the racism.
So this is a message to the MAGA farmers who are losing their farms because of the current administration. This is a message to the MAGA veterans and military who are watching their health care be destroyed and workers be fired and billions of dollars going from quality of life measures for troops to the border. This is a message for the MAGA poor who are watching their Medicare and their Medicaid and Social Security getting ready to get chopped. This is a message for all those people who thought things were going to get better. He doesn't fucking care about you. They don't care about you. The Republican Party doesn't care about you. They needed you for your votes. Some still do. The guy at the top, he doesn't need you anymore. He only needed you to stay out of jail and make billions of dollars from becoming president again. And all the Republican representatives and senators, they just needed you to vote for him so that they could help get that giant tax cut for the oligarchs who fund them. They have never, ever cared about you. There's a part of you deep down that may be starting to realize this, and I hope you do, because your life will get better. All of these people, if you're living in red states and all of the indicators of quality of life continue to fall, wages don't rise, education continues to fail, and you're led by Republican leadership, the GOP, and it has never gotten better, only worse, while the rich inside your state get more and more corrupt and wealthy, this might be your time to do something about it. I'm just saying, maybe it was all a lie. Maybe they never cared about you and they never will. Just think about that.
I know right now, people, it's hard to find some joy in some things, but what I find joy in is I just watched a video on Montana where the Montana farmers are going bankrupt. I think the state voted 100% districts to what's going on now, so fuck them. And then I look at Nebraska and see all the farmers crying about how they're losing everything, and then I look at Nebraska and how much they voted for this and how the farmers endorsed all this, and I say, fuck them. And then I'm watching the soybean farmers crying about how they can't export soybeans anymore because nobody wants them and they're losing money. But they supported this. Fuck them. Then I saw a video on vegetable farmers in Alabama that all their crops are going rotten because they don't have anybody to work the fields, but they voted for this, so fuck them. You all got what you voted for. Fuck you. We tried to tell you.
Thanks to Trump's tariffs, more farmers than ever are going bankrupt because they can't afford the machines used to do their job. Because of the tariffs, the red states are closing their stores because the goddamn the prices are so high, people don't want to pay it. Everything he said was a lie. This man was so desperate to be reelected to avoid prison, he lied his ass off. What a surprise, people. Donald Trump has been known to be a pathological liar. He is literally the worst candidate for president we could have ever have put in the Oval Office. And we are paying for it with our lives and our pockets. But this man is living in complete luxury while we're suffering. Yeah. I hope you learned your lesson.
Montana and Nebraska farmers are now bankrupt. Why can't they just fucking work harder? Like, bro, why the hell are they trying to, get handouts and shit, bro? Yeah, you're bankrupt. Fucking pull yourself up by your bootstraps and work harder. Like, this has to be the dumbest thing I've ever heard in a while. Like, bro, they need to stop playing the fucking victim. Like, yeah, everybody has gone bankrupt. Everybody's been broke before. Stop playing the victim, bro. Like, on God, at this point, I really just think that they want fucking handouts or something. Like, y'all just need to focus on yourself first. Stop focusing on, like, other people. Come on now. Like, y'all fucking voted for this. You get what you get.
I need you guys to understand, with Hurricane Erin coming up and down the East Coast right now, North Carolina still hasn't recovered. That community in North Carolina that got hit by that Hurricane Helen last year still has not recovered from it. It's been almost a year now, I feel like, and they are still they still have road closures. They don't have access to everything. And do you know what Trump's worried about? Instead of that rural, southern, redneck community, he's worried about NFL cheerleaders. He's worried about gerrymandering states to rig elections that he is not even valid to be elected for. And he just slashed FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Association. He slashed it. Defunded it, in fact. My heart goes out to those people because nobody deserves that level of mistreatment and just absolute inhumane cruelty by their government. But more importantly, if you are still a proud Trump supporter and MAGA Knight in this day and age, when he's literally crippling rural, redneck Republican communities, I just know that you are a Nazi deep down in your heart, and you are going to get the treatment that my grandfather would have given you, which is a bullet to the skull. I'm not fucking kidding. He would have given you a bullet to the skull.
We love our pets. They are like family. Say hi, Hank. A friend of mine's a veterinarian, and he told me that he's feeling the squeeze of bad economic policies. The cost of everything has gone up. Medications and supplies and rent and basic costs. That means that his services are more expensive now, and that's putting the squeeze on the families of the pets that he treats. The truth is, the cost of everything is rising. All small businesses are feeling the squeeze of poorly planned out, poorly advised economic policies. Tom Cotton goes on his social channels and cries and rails against Democrats, but he's not offering any solution to the fact that families aren't able to keep their pets healthy and alive. We shouldn't be pushed to the brink by Washington politicians who don't care what it costs here at home. A vote for Tom Cotton is a vote for higher costs. We all deserve better.
The problem you run into with those kinds of approaches are most of our rural areas aren't growing. So use your example like Independence, and I don't know if they're growing, but let's just say for the sake of argument that they're not. So just like as farmers, you pay more than you did last year for seed, and more than you did last year for fertilizer, and more than you did last year for fuel. Small towns are kind of in the same boat. They're paying more for fuel for the vehicles to plow the roads. They're paying more for health insurance. They're paying more for, plywood, like we all saw, after natural disasters, the price of building materials goes up. So
is it easier to save in Oklahoma? No, it's terrible here. Don't come here. You would hate it. However, most of the people that I know who are working single jobs are struggling, and that's just the reality. And then the cost of living in Oklahoma is going up. You throw what we're paying in rent, gas. OG&E is a fucking mafia. So yes, the cost of living is high. So anywhere you go in the United States, really, it's going to be hard to save if you don't play the game correctly.
Welcome back. In this video, we took a look at MAGA Trump supporters who regret their vote for Donald Trump after tariffs hit them hard and the economy is going downturn. Now, during the 2024 election campaign period, that is months to the November 5th elections, there were a lot of promises that were made by Donald Trump. He promised that he's going to revamp the economy and make America affordable again, because he said that America was not affordable as at that time. So when he steps into office, he was going to make America affordable again. He also promised of making America great again. And right after he won power in 2025, November 5th, he took over office in January of 2025, and has been 8 months into his office as at now, but things have not been able to go exactly as he planned or exactly as he promised. Rather, things are taking a downhill turn, and this is causing a lot of MAGA Trump supporters to regret their vote that they gave to Donald Trump, because he promised an economy where things were going to be very cheap, grocery prices were going to be cheaper, fuel prices were going to come down, gas prices were going to come down. But in his tenure, it is at this point that grocery prices are rather going up high, gas price is also going high, everything is increasing in the United States of America. But it looks like he does not even pay close attention to that. When he is given actual figures of things that are happening in the country, he rejects it and then brings out his own figures that he has cooked, and he expects the American citizens to take these figures just like that. Meanwhile, the people who live in the country know exactly how things are going in the country. Probably because he may be a billionaire, it is not affecting him as it is affecting the ordinary people in the United States of America. Now, during his tenure, he has introduced a lot of tariffs on goods that are coming in from other parts of the world, and most especially goods coming in from China. He has placed a lot of taxes, heavy taxes on these goods, thinking that this was going to hurt the Chinese government or the Chinese people. Meanwhile, it is the American citizens who are suffering from all these tariffs that he has imposed on all these goods that are coming into the United States of America. This has made living in the United States very burdensome for some of the citizens over there, because tariffs have increased a lot of goods that are sold in the United States of America. Also was the mass deportation policy, which sought to deport a lot of undocumented immigrants from the United States of America to their various countries. Now, when this happened, a lot of farmers have also lost their livelihood, in the sense that workers who work on the farm, in order for them to be able to have a good harvest, they are not there to provide that labor for these farmers. Meanwhile, these farmers heavily voted for Donald Trump, and now they are facing a negative consequence of their actions. They voted for mass deportation, and all their workers have been deported. Now they are not able to harvest their crops any longer. They don't have any workers to attend to their livestock that they are rearing, and this is really taking a heavy toll on their finances. So all this put together has made things quite difficult in the United States of America. Now, the president was trying to make a presentation of how things have fared during his administration, but the real figures that were given to him, he ditched that, threw that away, and then he came up with his own cooked figures that things have become better in the United States. The average household is 10 times richer. Meanwhile, a lot of Americans know that this is pure falsehood. This is never true. So people who voted for Donald Trump are really regretting their vote. Let me know what you also think about all these in the comment section below. And don't forget to share this video with your friends and your family on other social media platforms like WhatsApp, Instagram, X, Facebook, TikTok, and other social media platforms. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Just click the subscribe button down here. Click on the subscribe button. Click also on the notification bell. And I'd like to see you again in my next video.